Hi, teammates. Welcome to the Live Well podcast, the podcast that connects you to all the topics to meet you along your well-being journey. I'm one of your hosts, Jen Collins.
And I'm Seth Christopher. Welcome to The Well.
Welcome, teammates, to our second annual Open Enrollment podcast. This year is a very special edition because we have the pleasure of talking about the benefit elections for our entire enterprise. That includes Greater Charlotte, Navicent, and Wake Forest Baptist.
That's right, Jen. Today's message is going to touch a lot of lives, but fortunately for everyone out there, we've got two great guests on our show today to help us walk through what the benefit elections look like, the process, getting us comfortable with making decisions across the region. But without further ado, let's go and get the show kicked off. Let's start with some fast facts. What do you say?
I say let's do it.
Fast fact. Open enrollment begins October 19th and runs through November 2nd of this year. Get ready. Fast fact. This year, all benefits will be completed in Core Connect. So go ahead and take the time, get logged in, and get comfortable with the process.
Those are some great fast facts. I love that they were short to the point, and I think that's just a great segue into what we have to talk about today with our two guests, Eve and Kristy. Seth, let's dive deeper into the well.
Let's do it.
All right, today we have two special guests with us, Eve Cugini from Atrium Health and Kristy Shugart from Wake Forest Baptist. Both lead benefits and well-being across our great enterprise. Eve, Kristy, welcome to The Well.
Thanks, guys. So happy to be here.
Thanks, guys. Very excited to be here.
We are so excited to be talking about open enrollment. It's an enterprise-friendly open enrollment. We have so much information to give to teammates. Let's dig in. We talk about open enrollment every year. If you've been working, we know that this is something that companies do. But what is it? Why do we have our open enrollment season? And what's the purpose of picking benefits? Eve, let's start with you.
Sure. So open enrollment is an important time of year, and we like to think about it as not necessarily an event, but a time for teammates to think about, what are the unique needs of myself and my family based on where they are in life? Are they young and maybe they're thinking about having babies? And so do they need to think about, I want to increase my retirement funds, or I want to look at some voluntary benefits, or are they approaching retirement age? So it's just a really good time for people to pause and ponder, what do I need to think about for next year? What do you think, Kristy? What would you add?
Oh, absolutely. I completely agree with what you pointed out, Eve. And, it's just a really good time to think about those things as well as think about the benefits you do take advantage of and others that are out there that you may be able to take advantage of, or maybe you have a new need that has come up and can take advantage of a new benefit. It's a really good time to get all your information updated with HR and get a really holistic view of all the programs that we offer to our teammates across the enterprise.
I think that's an important call out, both Eve and Kristy, when we talk about considering the phase of life, the stage of life, or it's been called the season of life, and making sure that your benefits match. And we're fortunate to work for such a great enterprise and system that offers a variety of different types of benefits. You mentioned the voluntary benefits. Oftentimes, I think most people probably are thinking about health insurance, right? Which plan am I going to do this year? But I think when you step back and really zoom out and say, hey, what's my life going to look like in the next year, and then start to make those decisions from there, I think that's a great guiding principle to start when we roll into open enrollment.
Yeah, we would agree.
I love the takeaway of pause and ponder. I think so many times, unless we say, it's kind of mandatory for you to go in and do your benefits, a lot of people will just keep what they have and just roll that over, and then could have something happen in the year that makes them pause at that point and say, man, I should have thought about this a little differently. So I think that's a really important message for teammates to just take inventory of, what could happen, plan for a rainy day, but then what do you know is going to happen in the next benefit year?
Yeah, and this is such an exciting time for us because, since open enrollment last year, some great things have happened. The strategic combination with Wake Forest Baptist Health in Winston-Salem, this will be our second open enrollment, including the Navicent team. But this is the first open enrollment where we'll all be using the same system. So with Core Connect, everyone will go in there. And then there have been some changes in benefits too, as we try to get a little closer alignment with what we offer from region to region. So I think it's going to be an exciting year for teammates to look and see what's new or what hasn't changed, which may be important to people too, but to really take the time to think about what's important to them.
And Eve, you made a great point there, and maybe we should ask a little bit deeper here at the well, dive in a little bit. When we think about some of the changes that might impact teammates, are there any high level, big picture, are there any changes specific to Charlotte or to Macon that teammates should be aware of if they're in those regions?
I think for these two regions, so for Legacy Atrium and Legacy Navicent, to use some of the vernacular we've used as we've grown as a company, not going to see a tremendous amount of change. We are going to see that health plan premiums at Navicent, particularly with the Choice Health Savings Plan, they're going to stay flat. And we're going to see that some of the employer contributions for that plan in particular are going to increase. So we think that will be exciting because the employer contributions go into a health savings account. And we are such believers that is such a great vehicle for medical expenses now, but also into retirement. So that's going to be exciting. In Charlotte, we're not going to change any of the voluntary plans, but you are going to see, and I'm not going to steal Kristy's thunder, but I'll tell you at Navicent, we're moving to the same vendors. We'll have the same voluntary benefits, which really are wraparounds based on people's unique needs for their health plan coverages. So we'll see consistency with vendors, with plans. So if you happen to transfer from entity to another one, you can still have the same benefit in the voluntary phase.
That's so huge, especially for teammates who are looking to just sort of branch out into the different, as we get larger and larger. That's fabulous. Kristy, what can our Winston-Salem teammates expect?
So we have made some really exciting changes and also have some very exciting new offerings in our benefits for 2022. So we have greatly improved the value of our Wake Health Savings Plan to more closely align Atrium and Wake on those plans. We have added an employer HSA contribution for 2022, which is really exciting. The first time we've been able to do that, as well as we have significantly reduced the premiums in that plan so that we can really provide meaningful choice between the copay plans and the HSA plans for our teammates. We've also reduced the deductible in that plan. So a lot of exciting changes to improve the value of our HSA plan. And then just as Eve mentioned for Navicent, Wake will also be rolling out the entire suite of voluntary benefits for our teammates, which is also a really exciting new offering for our teammates for 2022.
So it sounds like there's a lot of wins across all regions, across the enterprise. There's going to be a lot more choices. So as people zoom out and think about their specific life choices, whether that's just thinking about the health benefit, the additional employer contributions, hey, y'all, that's a win. And then you start thinking about all these these other voluntary benefits that are going to be potentially relevant to people's choices, they're just going to have a lot coming up. So a lot of really good information across all regions.
Yeah, absolutely.
With all this change and all of these wonderful additions, where can teammates go? How are we going to be communicating to teammates all these things? What's our sequence of events for the rollout of communication for open enrollment?
So, Kristy, do you want to talk about how teammates at Wake Forest will access information? Because it's different there than it is for Atrium and Navicent.
Yes, I can start on that. It is a little bit different. So we will start with just some high-level announcements with open enrollment dates and a mailer to the home that is more of what's new. Did you know this about the upcoming enrollment period, as well as a health plan summary? And then for the much more detailed information that teammates will want to kind of dig into to see what their correct choices may be for this year, we will have our benefits intranet page updated with all those details in early October so that teammates can go in and get all the support they need. If they have additional questions, they can call our Benefit Service Center for help as well.
Great. So yes, the intranet is still alive and well at Wake Forest. We'll have a very similar sort of view on People Connect on the teammate site specifically for Atrium and Navicent. But the save the date postcard that should be hitting mailboxes any day now will be the same postcard for all three regions. So that's exciting. Just to say, October 19th through November 2nd is when your open enrollment event is. And then, as Kristy said, we will send out a health plan summary and some of the, what's new, what to look for. Those will hit homes probably that first week in October, which will coincide when the 2022 benefits web pages go up in all three areas. One thing I really want to call out too that I think is exciting for us as an enterprise is for the first time too, we're going to share a decision support tool. So it's a pretty simple tool where teammates can go in and they can lay out what their experience is with health plans. If you're someone who is prevention only every year, you plug in those numbers, or if it's someone who may have more trips to the doctor or something planned for next year, they can plug in their numbers and the decision support tool will lay out just a summary of what to expect financially in whatever health plans we offer. So there are 2 at Atrium, 2 at Navicent, and 3 at Wake Forest. And teammates will have a tool to help them make a decision about what's going to be best for them financially. So that's a big win for us as well.
Right. And that's really important for Wake teammates this year, having improved the value of our HSA plan. They may see different results from a decision support tool than they may have in the past for which plan may be the better value for them and their family.
Yeah, absolutely.
And there's so much to go through. So we're talking about a lot of different items, and this is stuff that you two, you live this life. This is something you're involved in. I want to say 365 days a year, but it might be more depending on the calendar. But for teammates to know that there's a decision support tool across the enterprise at all three regions, all three sites that you have access to help you to make the best decision, because sometimes life is happening. This is an important thing that your decision you're going to be making, but it might not be the most important in your other life of priorities. So knowing that that's in place to help guide through, and the additional resources and flyers and mailers that are coming through, and all this additional communication that's been put together, hopefully teammates, you get a chance to sit down and just help to make that decision using the tool and using the resources you have available to you. It's great to have that additional level of support.
Yeah, absolutely. And, Seth and Jennifer, I think we would be remiss if we didn't call out our communications partners who have been just incredible in helping us build the collateral that will go out to teammates and will be on our websites. But I do think, it's a year of change, and it's not only a year of change, but it's also a stressful year because the pandemic continues. And our teams are really dealing with a lot, and we're so appreciative for what they do day in and day out. So we've tried to make it as simple as possible. There will be websites that will have lots of details on them, including how do I access Core Connect? Because we're still in a learning curve, with Core Connect. So that information will be out there. They'll get the information in their home, so they'll have something in their hands that they can refer to. But we also do have benefit service centers for all three groups. And we've got certified benefits professionals sitting at the end of the phone, ready to help teammates with any questions they may have that are really unique to them.
Eve, I think that's a big part of why we were so glad that you and Kristy could make time out of your schedules to be a part of the well and share this message, because I think it's important for teammates to hear, just how committed everyone is to understanding the circumstances of the pandemic and how they can make this as easy as possible, considering all the additional choices and work that has to go into it for everybody. But I think it speaks to a greater mission, a greater purpose that we are all here to try and fulfill for teammates. And maybe if you both could speak a little bit about that. You think about benefits and how we talked about all these life choices, and what's the common theme that we try to connect to when trying to provide these resources for teammates?
Sure, and I can start on this one and then hand it over to Eve. So I would say that we really try to look at benefits from a holistic perspective, and we want to provide teammates what they need from a physical and emotional, mental well-being perspective, and really try to have that information at their fingertips, easy to access, have support mechanisms in place like the Benefit Service Center if they need to speak to someone about their specific situations and how our benefit plans and programs may be able to help them, just so they know that, Atrium Health as an enterprise is here to support them, and so appreciate, all the great work that they've done to support each other, support the organization, as well as support our communities that we do business in.
Yeah, you are completely right. And, I think we are all humbled to be able to work for an organization that is so focused on the well-being of our communities. So, when we sit in our seats, we have guiding principles that really do help guide us around providing teammates with an array of benefits that they can choose from, because we all have unique situations based on, families or where we are in life, as we talked about earlier. But we want to be able to provide it, but not just provide it, but provide it to people in a way that it's not too complicated. And to provide lots of resources to help people really get the true value out of the benefits that are offered to them.
Well said, both of you. It is such an honor to be a part of this organization and just how it wraps arms around teammates all the time, many different places. As we recap a couple of takeaways, make sure that I got this right. First and foremost, this is a time to pause and ponder, to kind of think about what you need for next year. Our open enrollment dates are October 19th through November 2nd. And everyone will be going through Core Connect in order to complete those benefit elections. Anything I'm leaving out? Anything that either one of you would like to leave our teammates with today?
So, Kristy, I think you all have captured it really well, but, Kristy and I have both said and would like to reiterate how much we're grateful for the teams we work with, and for the support we provide. Teammates who are on the front lines, we're so proud to work for you. And thank you all for all that you're doing.
Yes, absolutely. You captured those important highlights, Jennifer. And I just reiterate what Eve said. So thankful for the teammates that we have and the work that they do every day. And we are happy to be here to support those teammates.
How about a round of hashtag Atrium Health Proud?
Hashtag Atrium Health Proud. You are right.
Yes.
Well, thank you both for being here. We really appreciate it. Teammates, we have additional podcasts on open enrollment coming up. Next week, we'll be having Cindy and we will talk about the financial aspects of open enrollment, and we will dig into health savings accounts and retirement and all kinds of additional information for you. Kristy, Eve, thank you again for joining us. We really appreciate you taking the time.
And you all too. Thank you.
Yes,
all
thank
right.
you.
Okay, let it go. Let's get rolling towards open enrollment.
Wow, just a ton of great information. Loved having Eve and Kristy on their perspective. They're passionate about what they do, and this time of year really comes through on the microphone.
It does. This is such an important time of year, and I do love hearing their passion for our teammates and making sure that we are taking good care of them, start to finish, front to back.
Yeah, and it's a very complicated topic. So there's a lot that we're talking through, and people have to really sit down and take time to think about. And I'm one of those who has to put things on paper and revisit it multiple times. So I'm really glad that we had those resources. But because it's such a complicated topic, and there's so much dense information that we need to get through, Jen, what exactly is it that we learned today?
Well, first, we learned that Atrium Health takes a holistic approach to benefits for the teammates. The 2022 benefit material should be in teammates' hands before open enrollment starts. All teammates should take time to go in during open enrollment and review the available elections. Even if you typically don't take medical, dental, or vision, now is a great time to go in, take a look at what's available, and if nothing else, update your beneficiaries. Teammates can use the decision support tool to help determine the best insurance plan for you and your family in 2022. Also, if you have a specific question about your benefits that you want to talk through with someone, you can call the Benefit Service Center at 704-631-1500, and you can talk with somebody who is very knowledgeable and get your question answered or get some guidance around what your question might be. Most importantly, open enrollment across the enterprise is October 19th through November 2nd. It is very important that you are not late. Get those elections in by November 2nd. And lastly, all benefits will be completed in Core Connect for Wake and for the Greater Charlotte area. Navicent, look out for more details on where you can make your elections.
And teammates, the open enrollment page is now live. So lots of great resources, reinforcing some of the talking points, access to the decision tool, all that's now available. So just recommend take a moment before the October 19th go live and get familiar with it, but also take a few minutes and get comfortable with Core Connect if you haven't been using it a lot.
Our next podcast will be airing on October 14th, and we will have Cindy back with us, and she is going to continue our discussion around open enrollment. But on that episode, we're going to look at the financial reasons to participate during this open enrollment season.
A great call to action. And of course, teammates, just don't forget to visit the benefits website for more info on connecting with your benefits and some of those resources that are available to you. For additional support, you can also reach out to the Benefit Service Center. We'll include the links and numbers for both in the show notes.
Our resources are listed at the end of the show, and we'll add links to the programs discussed today in the comments on our Streams channel.
Looking for more things Live Well? Not following our Streams channel yet? Search The Well on Streams in Office 365 or find us on the Live Well website to access all our content.
Thanks for listening to The Well today.
Stay safe
and live well.